can you imagine if you are in your car in an expressway at 7:30 in the morning? So try to think in a big expressway of your city, in the country that you live, in the capital. What happened at 7:30 in the morning with the traffic in that expressway? The traffic is too heavy. With 2 or 3 electrons are excellent for the flow of electrons, because there are too much spaces in between the electrons to move the extra current, to move the extra flow of electrons. It's clear? You remember a piece of aluminum? Like the aluminum that we have on the screen right now? Okay, the piece of aluminum is like a silver color, no? And you remember what happened if you put that piece of aluminum, expose it to the rain, the environment for 2 days? What happened in 2 days when you touch the metal? The metal is covered with a white powder. That white powder is oxide of aluminum. And yes, this is the explanation. I say that a metal like a copper with only 3 electrons in the last orbit, they are perfect conductors of electricity because they have a lot of space in between the electrons to move the electrons faster from one side to the other side. There are a lot of elements considered isolators, basically because they have a high level of resistivity, high resistance. For example, glass, the resistivity is 10 elevated 12 ohms. It's too much resistant. Mica, 9 times 10 to 13. What about copper? Oh, papi, copper is perfect, 100 and 100. It's good thermal conductor and good electrical conductor. Let me check lead. Lead is the metal for the fabrication of the batteries. You remember in the previous chapter? Lead. Let me check lead. Oh, lead. Look at the thermal conductivity. It's nothing. And the electrical conductivity. Why the people fabricate the batteries with a metal with poor conductivity of temperature and poor conductivity of electricity? Oh, it's because that metal have excellent capacity to storage electrons. I recommend try to keep organized your tools. I recommend try to get a lot of cable terminals in different gauge, blue ones, yellow ones, and red ones. The most common number terminals. The yellow one for gauge in between 10 and 12, the blue ones for gauge in between 14 and 16, and the red one for gauge 16 and up. Those are the most common terminal, the most common colors, and I recommend that you organize your terminals in a box similar to this one. Now I am going to explain the procedure to install the battery terminal on the battery cable using the crimper, the box crimper. Alright, the procedure is, don't forget, try to buy this battery cable cutter. It's a special cutter for battery cables. With this one, you can cut the wire, and also you can cut it only the insulation. You apply the heat gun on the terminal. And right now the terminal is properly crimped. The terminal is properly installed. In general terms, when you calculate the area of a circle, you use the typical formula pi equals area is equal to pi times the diameter square. No, this is the typical area, or area is equal pi times the radius square. Okay, both of them are exactly the same. Why? Because if you have a equal to pi times the radius square, and the radius is the diameter divided by 2, this is equal to pi times the diameter divided by 2 square. Or we are going to use the formula that you have in this book, in your book. Okay, suppose that we are going to follow the table that we have here in this moment in the table. On top you have the distance in feet. Remember, the distance should be double. If the load is separated from the battery 10 feet, the total distance will be 20 feet. Okay. And if the consumption in amps is 10 amps, okay, I go down, I found the 10 amps with 20 feet, and after that I move left and I founded the gauge of the wire. It's too simple. It founded the gauge of the wire using this table.